My 22 female boyfriend, 21 male, found out his crush likes him back. Too long did not read. At the bottom. This will be a long one, I apologize. Background information. My boyfriend, 21 male, and I, 22 female, have been together for 6 months. Everything has been great so far, except for this one thing. He's part of a friend group consisting of a gay guy, 2 girls and himself. They're all 21-22 and met last year on campus. One of the girls, let's call her Julie, has always given me a weird feeling. My boyfriend once casually mentioned that he thinks she's cute and totally his type. She got out of a long-term relationship when we just got together. I have never been an overly jealous person, up until now. Guys I've dated have always reassured me or ceased to have contact with someone I felt uncomfortable with. I never forced them to, they just told me I'm their priority. My boyfriend is not that type of guy. He doesn't reassure, be it with words or anything really. He isn't able to, simply says to trust him. Important to note that he's a massive people pleaser. The 4 of them spend a lot of time together, they see each other multiple times a week. During class, to lunch, drink, and to casually hang out. They even went on vacation together. He says they're not his best friends, they're the ones who are always nearby. When they hang out, there's always some form of alcohol involved. Cue to last week. They organized a house party, lots of drinking. I told him I wasn't comfortable with him sleeping at her place, he doesn't live in our college town, and we ended up getting into our first big fight. I had a negative gut feeling. He once told me that he was physically attracted to her from the start, but once he got to know her that feeling disappeared. I honestly never believed it 100%. He ended up sleeping at her place. After few days without contact, we met up and talked it out. Promised each other that we'd both work on reassurance, being less jealous. Once he was asleep, I got the urge to check his phone. We have nothing to hide, so we know each other's code. This was the first time I actually took advantage of that. The night of the party, he sent his best friend a message. Saying how drunk he was and that the 2 other people of the group were telling him how cute of a couple him and Julie would make. Told him that she likes him but she'd never tell him herself. They knew we had a fight back then. He was freaking out, asking what to do. Telling him that she's been his campus crush since the beginning, used the present tense. He came across excited. Said that we're fighting and that I always told him she'd be the one breaking us up. Said he didn't need to know all this. I woke him up, we talked it out. Said that he was just very drunk, confused and that he didn't understand why they told him. I don't know what to do. Everything's been normal since then, but I feel very sad when I'm with him. Like I'm not his first option and he'll discard of me any day, even though he's really trying to show how much he cares about me in his own way. I genuinely love him, he's been like a dream. He doesn't want to spend less time with them and became agitated when I said I'd like to talk to both girls. Saying that he doesn't want me to ruin their friendship or for Julie to feel left out and think that he treats her differently. What about how I feel? What about a compromise? Just said to trust him once again. They were hanging out the next day, he couldn't keep his eyes off of her. I noticed. He laughed at everything she said. I mean, how can one not think of all the possibilities after knowing what he knows now? I don't want to bring it up again, his friends are definitely something he'd break up with me for. I don't want that. They're his number one, even though he says they're not. I feel like I'm going insane. It still bothers me but I cannot let it show. Everyone's making me feel like I'm overreacting and that it is not a big deal, but my tears have been telling me otherwise. Do I just set my feelings aside and see where this goes? I do want a future with him. Too long did not read. The girl my boyfriend, 21 male, has a crush on apparently likes him back. They're good friends and see each other frequently. It feels like he dismisses my discomfort and doesn't take my feelings into consideration. This is too much drama for a 6-month relationship. If I were you, I'd end this relationship ASAP. Not a fan of my boyfriend having crushes on his friends, and thinking it's perfectly normal and okay. Also, his inability to set boundaries and think about how you, his girlfriend, feels is a major red flag. Why weren't you invited to the party? Don't waste time on losers who prioritize his drinking buddies over your relationship. You're only together for 6 months, it's time to end it. 6 months in and his choices are already causing this much drama? This should be the best time in your relationship where he can't get enough of you. Yet you know he will choose his friends who aren't really close friends over you. Girl, the red flags are flying. They are both attracted to each other, drink together and hang out every day. He isn't willing to change anything. This is a recipe for disaster. If you stay at some point, I guarantee if he hasn't already cheated, he's uncomfortable with you talking to this girl, he will. And for extra credit, I bet he will blame it on you being insecure, controlling, and alcohol. This isn't normal and you should definitely leave him, you deserve way better. I'm sorry you are dealing with this. It's not a tenable relationship that he has with her now, whether you are in the picture or not. He doesn't want to ruin their friendship? The platonic friendship? It's not platonic even if it's only him that has feelings for her, or had feelings for her. I agree with you. Whether you are second choice or not, he needs to change something to make you feel more secure in what strongly appears to be a love triangle between you, him and her. If he's not going to change anything, you need to change it, and there is no point in confronting her, so it'll be leaving him that is the change you need to make. My boyfriend, M25, said F23, cause his depression. On New Year's I asked my boyfriend of 3 years how he looked back on the past year, and out of nowhere he answered that it was a very difficult and terrible year for him. He could sometimes look stressed, and then I would ask him what's wrong and comfort him. To me it just seemed like a normal stressful day or week, but apparently what he told me then wasn't all that was on his mind. I'm always there for him and have never given him a reason not to trust me. Why didn't he let me help him? He told me that when the time is right he would tell me, so I waited. Fast forward almost 5 months later. He would often turn cold and be really rude to me. If I asked him he was okay, he would say I am asking him too many questions, not to worry and to leave him alone. I was walking on eggshells. Last week I talked to him about this and that it's very difficult for me to understand his cold behavior without knowing the reason why. He then told me, "You want to know the reason for my depression? It's you." I only replied saying, "Oh, okay. That's not what I expected." I tried my hardest not to show emotions, cause he would then maybe say, "See? That's why I didn't want to tell you." So I just took it and eventually we came to a solution. I have to change. He said I caused his depression by being disrespectful. I started uni again in September to work on my future and have made some new friends, mostly guys. I major IT security, there are only like 3 girls in the whole year. Also I've been into going to raves sometimes. On average I go to one every 2 months, tell him with who, send pictures, and he has my location 24/7. He also knows my phone password and told him he can see my phone whenever he wants. I also ask too many questions. He doesn't want me to ask how his work was when he comes home, how his meeting went, etc. And I'm rude. He is Japanese and the way I talk and my opinions are sometimes too much for him. I can say in my friend group I'm known for being calm. I'm just really hurt. I always do my best for him, and hearing that you're causing the person you love depression is not really nice. Also my mom passed away this April and handling both these things is a lot. I have no energy left over, I'm exhausted. My boyfriend can be so kind, funny, and he helped me through so many things. He's made me more confident and motivated me to work harder. We've been living together for more than 2 years now and it's the first time I've really felt like I have a home. I love him but I don't like this side of him. He can sometimes completely flip his personality and it's scary, like laughing at me in my face while I share feelings saying, "Why you always crying?" We don't argue often at all. Everything is always perfect until it's not. Anyways, I just feel weird now. Everything is back to normal, but for me it's not. Thank you so much for the comments and advice. I read them all folded hands. As someone who has chronic depression, that's not what causes depression. He is just trying to be controlling and is using emotional manipulation to do it. If you obeyed me, I wouldn't be depressed. He needs therapy and medication for his depression, not for you to do whatever he demands of you. This isn't a healthy relationship. Walk away. Depression can be situational, but the fact that you have a life that doesn't revolve around him is not making him depressed. That's some manipulative, controlling bullshit. Break up to cheer him up. It's the kind thing to do. You don't magically control his emotions. He's 25, a grown man. He's 100% responsible for his actions. If he's truly depressed, he should seek medical help, but it seems like he just wants to control you. He's not depressed, he's a manipulative asshole. My 29M partner of 5 years told me, 29F, he's discovered he's non-monogamous. I'll try and keep these brief, but my partner, 29M, and I, 29F, have been married for almost 3 years, together for 5. He told me yesterday that he is non-monogamous. He explained that he doesn't know exactly what that means and that he doesn't necessarily fit into any of the polyamorous definitions. But that he feels very trapped in our relationship and he can't get as deep of connections as he would like with people. Side note. We both grew up Mormon with very black and white thinking. He often says he feels guilt for looking at other women, his fantasies, etc., which I think are fairly normal. He is very affectionate with both males and females, and I have often tried to set boundaries with women and his physical affection. We have had a lot of trauma in our relationship that has often made it unsafe for me to trust him. He hasn't cheated that I know of. He expressed that he wants to be able to go to lunch with our mutual girlfriends. Maybe cuddle with them if that's where it lead. And that maybe one day he's curious about it potentially getting sexual with them. He also says he'd be down with me getting a girlfriend. He has a therapist that he is now doing a 6-month mentorship program with that they do weekend trips every few months with the group. It was around the time that he started seeing this therapist that these ideas started to manifest, and it was recently that he started reading several polyamorous books that she recommended. She herself is polyamorous. He claims to have never have known this and that she didn't sway him this way, but it is naturally who he is. He compares it to coming out of the closet of being gay. What do I do? Do I try and support his freedom or do I end things? He gives me all the freedom I want and says he wants to be loved the same way. Update. Thank you all so much for the nearly unanimous opinions. Thank you for giving me the support and courage I needed to move on and forward. Even though my heart feels completely shattered, I feel the most peace and clarity that I've had in months, maybe years. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, the therapist more of a life coach. Her credentials are that she has a master's degree in physiology and a minor in psychology. We were on a wait list for a sex therapist, but she's legit and booked out for months. I can't wait that long. Last thing I need help on, we have millions of dollars in assets. Anyone know a good attorney that can write up a postnuptial? Unless you're sure you would be fine with an open relationship, just end it. Open relationships aren't for everyone, and trying to force it will either damage the relationship or destroy it. How old is his therapist? What are her credentials? This doesn't sound like any real form of therapy to me. He's letting you know that he's going to cheat. He's hoping to do it, above board, because it's less effort than hiding it from you. Your marriage is over. You can't talk or reason someone into being faithful to you. Start getting your ducks in a row to leave. So he wants to play Mormon Hold founder of your cult, religion had many wives. Dump this cheating asshole. He is definitely fucking the therapist. And file an ethics complaint on her to your state's Board of Psychology. Would he be cool with you getting a BF? If he freaks out at that suggestion, that's pretty telling. Girlfriend, F20, has the mental maturity of a 13-year-old and I'm getting fed up, M19. Girlfriend, F20, has the mental maturity of a 13-year-old and I'm getting fed up, M19, new. So I've been in a relationship with this woman for a year and some months. We both are introverts and enjoy spending time inside watching shows and playing video games, but we spend as much time walking in our city just talking about life and stuff, and the more time we spend together more and more red flags start to appear. For example, 1. She still believes that the world will be given to her in a platter. 2. She is halfway through university and still hasn't a plan for the future. Hell, she doesn't have the slightest clue of what to do once she finishes university. If she does. 3. She doesn't spend any time honing her skills nor trying to learn new ones. She says it's too much a bother. 4. She wishes death for the smallest of things. I say that a guy in work talks weird and bothers me and she says, "Those people are better off dead." Something that most people I know were saying when hormones started hitting. And some more. But the worst part out of all is her mother. While I got my suspicions why, she just wants to push my relationship in the next level, forcing us to start living together and getting really upset that I will be leaving for around 3 months for work like I'm married to her daughter. So a couple days ago I was thinking about life in general and arrived to a certain conclusion. I had stopped feeling like a boyfriend a long time ago and felt like her father. I tried for so long to dismiss it, but now I just can't deny it. Almost every time we go out I have to explain her about etiquettes or trying to stop her from doing something that bewilders me, like when we wanted to go to a party where everyone was dressing up good and wanting to come in sweatpants and sweatshirt like we were going jogging. After arguing for a while I convinced her to at least wear a pair of jeans, but she couldn't find a reason why. I've been talking to her for a long time, but almost any time we speak about anything other than our hobbies I'm left thinking that my 15-year-old brother has more maturity than her. I just don't know what to do with this relationship. Move on or tough it out in hopes of getting better. Too long did not read. She can't act like an adult and I ended up feeling like her father rather than her boyfriend. If anyone is in a similar situation, please, any advice is greatly appreciated. You. Hear me out. Don't have to date her. Why are you dating someone you seems to resent? You didn't put a single positive thing in this wall of text shitting on your awful girlfriend. Just dump her already. Nothing wrong with how she is. You're both young and trying to find your way in the world. But you're not compatible. Don't date people you don't even like? I mean, come on dude. No one is holding a gun to your head to stay in a relationship you resent.